We ain't had no sound, baby. We got it now. We good. We ain't had no sound, but I wasn't going out like that. I wasn't going out like that. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. It's the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Are we coming through loud and clear? Are we good? Are we good? Saturday morning. Got some. I was eating some watermelon and some pops and some pineapple. So it's stuck to my teeth a little bit. All right, so we got a goodie for y'all today. What they will do to one, they'll do to the other. What they'll do to one, they'll do to the other. So today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show, we're gonna be talking about things like cheating, and deceiving, and stealing and stuff like that. So basically, you know how when you love somebody, when you care for somebody, and you know that they're involved with people who are a little unscrupulous, when you know that they're involved with people who may not mean them all that good, or whatever, you try to warn them, like, listen, I know what the person that you're dealing with did to the last person that they were with. And if they did it to them, they'll do it to you. If they do it to you, they'll do it to you. You got to keep your eyes open. Got to keep scoping, baby. Because you just never know. I ain't trying to see you go out like no sucker. Come on, keep your eyes open, baby. Yo, everything is gonna be all right. Because we say so. Yo, Stacy, why? How you feeling? Yeah. Aunt grown woman. Don't try me. My condolences to you. Hope everything is all right with you and yours. I know how it. Some people can change. Now, you have every right to judge them on their past indiscretions. But we also have to remember that we messed up in the past too. And we may have had our reasons. And that's how we're doing it. Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Saturday from 1:30 p.m. till around 3:30-ish. And the reason that we say 3:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Saturday. And it is Saturday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the and if you can't say Omar with the well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should. I hope y'all feeling like real men and women should too. So today we're talking about some, y'all was listening earlier. Like I said, I was eating some watermelon and some pineapple. It was good as shit too. That shit was good. It was good. I bagged it up yesterday. So, it had all the juice in the bag because it melted a little bit. And it was all, blending together. So it was watermelon-y and pineapple-y. Anyway, we're talking about what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other. So that's pretty much a warning that maybe our parents had given us, our friends had given us, our aunties, uncles, old heads, influencers, people who knew us well, who cared about us a lot, and who tried to protect us, even at those times, during those times when we didn't want to be protected. You know how it go. My brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? Good to see you. Always, my dude, always. So yeah, what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other. Well, that's a good way to calculate somebody's behavior. What they did to them, what makes you think they won't do to you? If they cheated and lied and stole from them, why wouldn't they do that to you? At the same time, we probably all know situations with people where they knew who to lie, cheat, and steal from. Sometimes it might have been you. Other times it might not have been you. People are smart enough and aware of the consequences enough to know who they should deal with and who they shouldn't. For example, I live in the city of Philadelphia, and it has been so wild. This summer has been off the chain. Nobody is ever going to forget the wild summer of 2025. We got crazy shootings. You know what I mean? It's like the OK Corral in this city. And then, I never talked about my city like this, but it is crazy. We just finished a citywide labor strike. So the trash was piling up in the city, all crazy, nasty stuff. So 4th of July weekend was just off the chain. And here we are. This is we're not even all the way in the summer yet. Summer started, June 21st? And here it is, July 12th, right? So we haven't even had a full month in the summer. And this summer is already over in this city. For real, this is bad. But I'm saying all that to say this. Even with the most crazy, bugged out, knuckleheaded thugs, they know that they can go ahead and bust their guns at any random person that doesn't have a gun, or maybe the ones that do, because they have a code where they're not going to tell on each other, allegedly, suspected. But they know not to play that. They know not to play that shit with the cops. They know not to play that shit with the feds. So yeah, they will get their thug going when it comes to people like me and you, because they feel like they have the upper hand. They got the guns. They have the people behind them that are going to support that madness and that craziness. But they might kill me or you, God forbid. But they know that if they do that to the cops, it's going to be bad for them and everybody associated with them. So they don't play that shit. Now, I'm not saying that nobody ever shoots cops or kills cops or anything like that, but it's definitely not as you would think that a lot more that would happen a lot more often, because those are the people that they have to worry about as far as losing their freedom is concerned. And I'm not trying to encourage anybody to do that, God forbid. But you understand what I'm saying. Only thing I'm trying to get across is that you know to play with one and not to play with the other. You know that you can do this and that and the third with them, but you might not want to do that, this third and the whatever with them. Because them over there, they not going to play with you. They going to shut it all the way down. Them over there, yeah, you can get away with them. You can lie, cheat, steal, hurt, threaten, extort, blackmail, kidnap, all that old crazy stuff. You can do that with them, but you better not do that with them. You understand what I'm saying? So even in the gang culture or whatever, there's a hierarchy. So you know that the ones that are on your level, you can play how you want to play. The ones who are above you, yeah, you don't want to take a chance on that. So that's what we're talking about today on the Urban Therapy with Son show. Not the criminal part. We just, that was just an example. Let's go ahead, get this hardware out of the way so we can get started talking about what we want to talk about, saying what we want to say, and meaning what we want to mean. So y'all understand where I'm coming from with this. What they'll do to one, they'll do to the other. Is it true? Let me make sure this mic is right. Hold on. I don't like it all the way up here. Oh, well, down there. See, it's a magnet. So, hold on. There you go. Okay, there we go. Okay. We good, y'all? Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. I want to thank y'all in advance for coming through. This is the Urban Therapy with Son show. I'm your host, Son752. And we are talking about what they do to one, they'll do to the other. What they do to one, they'll do to the other. Is it true? Is it true? Is it? Is it? Well, we're going to see. We're going to see amongst ourselves. Yeah. So I'm curious. When was the last time y'all had to deal with a situation like that where you had to advise somebody that what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other? If you have young people in your lives, you probably had to say something about that recently. Probably. Not definitely, but probably. If you're dealing with teenagers, I would say teenagers definitely, because teenagers are so impressionable. They're starting to learn things. They see their future in front of them, school, work, whatever, you know what I mean? And they can be led to believe that they know more than they know. And that's not a knock in any way on their intelligence or whatever. But sometimes you think you know things that you don't know. And that can apply to any of us. We've all been in situations where we thought we knew something that we really didn't know that much about, or knew somebody that we didn't know that much about. We've all been in a position where we felt like we knew somebody better than we knew them. And because we may not have been old enough, experienced enough, wise enough, smart enough, rational enough, critical enough to really see them for who they are, we may have misjudged them. Not in a bad way, but in ways that were bad for us personally as individuals. For example, think about the first people in your life that you declared were your best friends. Do you remember, your first best friend? How old was some of y'all when you had your first best friend? What I mean, it may have been before you ever went to school. Like maybe you had a best friend when you were 3 or 4. Some of us went to school when we was 3 or 4. We wasn't getting out of school. I've been in school since I was like, I don't know, 2 or 3. They used to call it get set. And that's what you call preschool now. You know what I mean? So yeah. So there was that. And then I don't remember having a best friend in preschool. But I definitely remember having a best friend in like maybe like first grade. No, before then, my best friend lived on my street. He lived on my block, a few doors down. My man Ricky. Ricky was my best friend. That was who I rolled with all the time. We played tag, hide and go seek, freeze tag, dodgeball, baseball, football, basketball, you know, whatever. That was my homie. That's who I rolled with. He lived 3 doors down from me. You know, he was at my house. I was at his house. I spent the night over his house. I ain't like spending the night over his house. I ain't gonna front. I spent the night over his house a couple of times. You know, Rick had a big family. Anyway. Ironically, Ricky was a good best friend. He was. Ricky was a good best friend. You know what I mean? To this day, he was a good best friend. It's funny because we lost contact with each other over the last 10 years or so, maybe more than that, but that was my man. But you, if you think about your first best friends, you probably liked your first best friends so much that y'all called each other cousins, cousins, brothers, sisters, all that old kind of stuff. Because you know how back in the day when you was little, being just a friend was never enough. No, we got to be family. That's my cousin. That's my brother. You know what I mean? And some of y'all may have fallen out with your former best friend, your former cousin. Y'all, we ain't cousins no more. We not brothers no more. We not sisters no more. Because not everybody that we choose to be in our life is always a great person for the different phases of our lives. You know? So as you were learning, as you were growing, as you were coming up, as you were learning new things and doing new things and exploring and all that kind of stuff, they may not have been on that same wavelength. Some of y'all have had the same best friends, the same group of friends since y'all was in single digits, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. You know, first grade, second grade, third, right around the way, around the corner, down the street, in the same neighborhood. What up, Carla? Carla was good. Good to see me some you. And Mr. Cluck. Mr. Cluck was good. Says cool beard. I appreciate that. And SYBAU. I want to say that says Sabao. But that's the crazy part about it is, wait. No, his or her name is in Arabic. So they're actually just saying SYBAU. But thanks for coming through. I can't pronounce your name because I can't read it. It's not because I can't read, it's just that I can't read Arabic. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, sit back, relax, do your thing, max and chill. Good to see you, good to see me, some you, my dude. Let me see. Stacy White says, we wear dress like twins today. What does that mean? I know I don't wear a dress. Are you talking to me? You talking to me? And Stacy also says, I had pineapples this morning for breakfast. That's what's up. And Grown Woman Don't Try says, yup, my children went to get set too. You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta Hey, I know one thing. I knew some kids that didn't start school until first grade, and they didn't come from a family that read to them or made them read and all that kind of stuff. So it was tough. It was tough. So anyway, so yeah, man. Um, so we may have had best friends from back in the day that didn't take that walk with us all the way to adulthood. They didn't take that walk with us all the way to whatever. And they can't, you got to understand that they didn't live in the same houses that we lived in. And they didn't receive the same information that we received. And they didn't have the same DNA, the same historical DNA information that we had from our parents. So, I believe that whatever your parents have done, you're capable of doing those things. The thing is, that's good things and that's bad things. Caller on the line. What? Yeah, caller on the line.
You have a call from
Stacy. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Son Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Why you always read my stuff wrong?
I read it the way it's written, and it clearly says we wear dress like twins today.
No.
That's what it says.
Whatever. I just said that we're dressed like twins today. And unfortunately, I had to dress on today.
Okay. Well, that's not what it says. Everybody can see what it says. We wear dress like twins.
You know how to read my stuff, even when it ain't right. You still know how to read my stuff.
I don't know what that was saying. Anyway, so who are you dressed like a twin with?
You.
Oh yeah, how? If you got on a dress, you trying to say I'm a punk? You trying to say I'm a punk? You trying to say I'm gay?
No,
I don't wear no gay. I don't wear no gay. I don't wear no dress.
You ain't. I'm saying we got the same colors on.
Prove it.
We're bearing witness today.
Prove it. Prove we have on the same color. I don't see.
I can't prove that we got on the same colors. We got the same colors on.
I think you got on baby blue or sky blue.
I got the same color blue you got on.
This is not blue. This is teal.
I got teal. Well, teal, the same. It's the same thing.
You can't prove that.
You've been spying in my closet.
Bet on a stack of Bibles that you wear in the same color.
Huh? I bet on a stack of Bibles you wear the same color.
All right.
Yeah, I bet on my nose gray.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. I was calling about the topic.
Okay.
I only had 2 friends at a time. I never was the type of person that had a group of friends. But you find out who your friends is as you get older.
Yeah.
And I think I said it before. I believe your parents know who your friends is and who's not your friends. And I found that as I was going, when I got older, I found out as God was blessing me. And I think my friends seen the blessings, how He was blessing me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's an ill will towards me. It's like you see who's not your friend by the way they start acting. Mm-hmm. I'm like, it's like this. Once my blessings kick in, it's gonna fall on my family. It's gonna fall on my friends. But the thing of it is, you can't have that attitude.
Okay.
And vice versa. Your blessings gonna fall on me.
Okay.
And that's the way I look at it. Because my family is blessed, their blessings fall on me. Now, if I had that jealous attitude or whatnot, like, man, F them or whatever, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't see nothing.
Okay.
So that's the way I look at it. But you have to be really careful because your friends will be in secret competition with you and you will never know it.
Okay. So Has your mom or your dad ever warned you about somebody that you were friends with or that you were involved with or whatever?
My mom warned me about two friends that I was hanging around. She said that girl is one of them girls stole your Mickey Mouse watch. I had a nice Timex, Timex used to be a good brand back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Mickey Mouse. And my Mickey Mouse watch came up missing,
Okay.
and she blamed one of them that took it. And she also reminded me of a dude that I was dating when I got older. And she was like, he's a nice fella, but he likes to have a lot of drama surrounded around him.
You know what? I know that what you're saying is real because she said he's a nice fella. That's definitely something a mom, a old school mom would say. A nice fella. Okay.
Yeah.
So wait. So your mom knew something about somebody that you was messing around with?
Yes, because I told Mama I brought him home. He's the first guy I ever admitted that I liked it. Because the other dudes, I didn't tell my mom about nothing.
Okay. All right.
He's the first I brought home, and I would tell my mother different things and different scenarios. And she would just listen for a minute. But then she also schooled me on some games, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that was protection for me, and I love her for that. But she never tried to control me.
Okay.
And I love her for that. And the reason why she never tried to control me is because my grandmother always tried to control her, and she didn't do that to me.
Okay.
Generation person bullshit, So, yeah, you have to be careful with them. The friends is the ones that are hurt. They'll stab you in the back and they'll hurt your gut. And if you ain't stopping them, you're going to win loony.
All right. Have you ever messed around with anybody or been friends with anybody that had like you don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Oh.
Have you ever messed around with somebody or known somebody, been friends with somebody that you knew had like maybe a criminal past, or maybe you had a chance to be around them for a long time. Maybe you liked them, but never really said too much to them or was involved too much with them. But then y'all somehow, hold on, I ain't done. Just hold your horses. Hold your horses, young mare. Hold on. So if you became friends with them or whatever, but you already knew how they kind of did things. For example, you know how like when we was little, maybe you liked a boy or whatever, and you maybe you knew that he went with another girl, and you had a chance to kind of see how they were with each other or whatever. So you knew a little bit about what kind of boyfriend he was or whatever, and maybe he became your boyfriend. So you kind of knew what to expect from him, good or bad. Bad.
That's a boundary. I never did that, but that was always said to me, and that's why I'm angry as fuck about that. I don't play behind my friends, man. Matter of fact, we don't even have nothing. I don't have nothing in common when it comes to their type of man that they like at all. And that's why I get so angry and up in my mind about, because they don't feel that way about me.
But
their eyes come open as soon as they see me dating or see me happy or see me dating somebody. Like that man ain't got other friends. Back in the day, we used to go double dating. You be with your, who you want to be with, and your friends be with who they want to be with. No, they want your stuff now.
But you got to slow down because you're not really answering the question. Like, because trust me, you're not. So, when I ask you about another dude that you may have, maybe you liked him, maybe he liked you, but y'all never really got with each other. He may have gone with somebody that you knew of, but that don't mean that y'all were friends. So it's not like you were. It wasn't like you was going behind somebody like, oh, he was my friend boyfriend first, and now he's mine. I'm not talking about that. Maybe you just saw them around, and you knew that they were together, but that wasn't your friend. He wasn't your friend either. You just knew him or saw him, and maybe you were attracted to him or whatever, and maybe he shot his shot at you, and then y'all got together. But you did get a chance to see. It could be something simple, like maybe you saw that when he was with his ex-girl, maybe he carried her books home from school. Maybe he hugged her every time he saw her. Maybe he kissed her. I don't know. But you knew you had a chance to see how he interacted with somebody else. So you knew sort of what to expect if he ever got with you. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
No.
Okay. Fine. Let me ask you this. Have you ever bought something from a store that you heard the store cheated people out of their money or sold products that wasn't really all of that?
No, but I'm not going to say no names. I have heard of a certain designer everybody is wearing, and I have heard that designer is kind of like racist, so that turned me off from buying their products.
Gucci?
No, not that designer, but it was another one, and he's still, or whoever it is, still popular to this day.
Tommy Hilfiger?
No.
Ralph Lauren Polo?
No.
Oh. All right. Okay. All right. So if word of mouth or whatever is still a way of knowing whether somebody does good business or something like that. So it could be like shit. I'm gonna make this easy. Do you have any? Okay. All right. Like, I eat Jamaican food, or should I say Caribbean food, on Fridays, right? So I know that one practice of Caribbeans, which is no different from anywhere else, the people that they like, especially if you come from the Caribbean, they will give you a lot of food. You know what I mean? If you order, they will give you more food than they might with somebody else that they don't know, not familiar with, or whatever. You understand what I mean? So when we say that what they do for one, they'll do for the other. So, but you can clearly see that they might pile the oxtails all on somebody else's tray or in the box, whatever you call that shit, that the container. They might give them a lot, and somebody like you or me or somebody else that they don't know or don't like, they might not give as much. So you can't really say that what they do for one, they'll do for the other. You kind of have to look at the different circumstances that are surrounding. Like, people treat their friends different than they treat their enemies, even though some people who are friends with friends might do some enemy-like things to their friends. So you can't always say that what a person will do to or for one, they'll do to or for another one. They have the potential, but it's not always consistent. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think.
All right. Since you understand what I'm saying, now let me ask you this. Because it could be like I said, you could go to a store and you heard like maybe they give discounts. They might give a better price to some people rather than other people. You know what I mean? And you may have heard that, and maybe you have even seen that. But maybe they had something that you really wanted, so you took a chance anyway, and you found out that it was either true or untrue. sometimes things can be true right in front of you and untrue right in front of you. It doesn't mean that it's not true for anybody, but it may not be your experience. But you have the decision. I mean, you have the power to make the decision about whether you want to buy something from somebody, solicit from somebody versus somebody else. Look, Carla in the chat, she said, favoritism with food, not cool. But you know that shit be happening. That shit. Yo, especially with chicken. People play around with chicken. They give you all them little pieces. You know what I mean? They give you the little baby wings. And they gave somebody else the big chunky ones. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah. If you like me, you count your pieces of chicken. Like, so let me get this straight.
Yeah.
This cost me $8. This cost me $8. And you cut up the little pieces. But if I put all of the pieces together that you cut up, this means I got 2 pieces of chicken that you charge me $8. So it's $4 a piece. That's what you telling me?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, but it go the way it go. But you can't always say that what one person will do to somebody, they'll do to the next person. The potential is there. Excuse me, the potential is there, but it's not always consistent enough for you to make a guarantee that somebody is either going to treat you well or shit on you.
You just have to trust the gut.
Okay, so let's do it like this. Let's say a boyfriend that you had before, right? And maybe he told you a lot about his past, good and bad. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he was honest with you about his dealings with other women or whatever, and maybe he was telling you that to let you know what you can expect from him, but then again, maybe not. You know what I mean? He could have been gassing your head up, and he could have been lying or whatever. But let's say he wasn't lying. He was telling you the truth about how he has been in past relationships. And so he's letting you know how he wants your relationship to be, or how he expects to treat you and want to be treated. But let's say he told you all of this stuff about his exes and how that used to go, but then you don't see nothing that relates to how he was with them. Does that mean he's a totally new person, or have we just brought down the whole what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other thing?
I don't know about that, because the reason why I said I don't know about that, because if a person still, say for instance, the person was dealing with you and y'all was dealing with each other, but he had, y'all not dealing with each other no more, but he had a girlfriend, he had a girlfriend. And the person that he was dealing with was like kind of like flirting with him and almost like seducing him or whatnot to see if he'll take the bait. And then he takes the bait. And then you find out a couple of years later, they going to get married. But you knew this person took the bait, and this person was out there, really out there like that in the street. A ladies' man, say it like that.
Mm.
But he married now, but he's supposed to still faithfully married, and all that. You think he changed? You think he got all that street stuff out of him when he got married?
Mm.
And he was supposed to be in, and he was dating this other person for years.
Mm.
And years. You think all that's out the system?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say, because I do believe that people can change. I've seen people change, but it depends on what they're changing and what their mindset is about the things that they are changing or keeping the same. Like, for example, I know that people grow out of things sometimes. Like, I used to drink. I don't drink no more. You know what I mean? I didn't necessarily grow out of it, but it didn't work for me no more. And the thing is, people do what works for them. If something keeps working for somebody, they're not really going to change it. Like, what are they going to change it for? They might change just to see what the other side looks like, feels like, or what it does. But for the most part, we live our lives trying to find the right thing that fits us. Sometimes we find the wrong things that we consider to be the right things to do for ourselves. For example, you could take it to drinking, you could take it to smoking, you could take it to getting high. You know, we say things like it helps to relieve my stress. So, you know, I drink because it calms me down, it keeps me cool. Or I smoke because it lowers my blood pressure. Or, you know what I mean? People be making up all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so you chain smoke bud for your blood pressure. Okay. But the bottom line is, you know, we try to find what works for us. And sometimes it's the right thing to do. And sometimes it's not. I knew a crackhead. No bullshit. I knew a crackhead that tried to tell me that he smokes crack because it smooths him out and calms him down and keeps him right. Crack. Not of all crack. I'm like, nigga, what? May he rest in peace now. May he rest in peace now. But I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. And he said that shit with a straight face. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I smoke a little, I take a little hit and I be good. What crackhead you know only take one hit? Shit.
Everybody thinks different. Everybody's mindset is different. We're not all on the same mindset. We are all different. We all handle things different. Because I have had a boyfriend that was locked up. It looked like he liked the jail more so than he liked the freedom. He only stopped going to jail all the time when his mother passed. And that was a relief. I'm glad he grew up and got a job and got his life straight. I think that was his angel watching over him, his mom. That's how come I know how much you get locked up, how much you cost on the phone. Too much when you take that call. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, people, you know, just think different.
Yeah.
And, we think different. We, you know, it all depends because I have done something that I wasn't proud of. That don't mean I would do it again. Even if I got angry and the person have done me wrong, that don't mean I operate on that next person the same way at all. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do that because I realized that I shouldn't have took it there. I was growing out of my character, way out of my character, and I should not have took it there.
Yeah.
You know, so it all depends on the person, especially if they're growing. You know, they're trying to grow and trying to elevate. But you know, there's some people that still the same way. Now, would I have the same friends around me as an adult? No. I don't miss them. They showed me how they was and how they cared about me as an adult. So I'm like, I love those who love me. No, you don't rock with me like that, I'm not gonna lose no sleep.
All right. So do you think if somebody lies to you, then that means they lie to everybody else?
I don't think so.
Okay. You think they lie to who they want to lie to and tell the truth to who they want to tell the truth to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a beautiful lie telling to somebody, or you know, it's a lie, but
a white lie? A white lie, you mean?
Not a white lie. I mean, like somebody's like, you know, I have been lied to, and I could tell I have been lied to, but it wasn't a mean, nasty lie. They just didn't want to hurt my feelings.
Okay.
That kind of lie. That's not a white lie. That's a straight up lie.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, people lie in certain situations. It always raises an eyebrow when somebody tries to convince me that they never lie. Like they always tell the truth, like some bullshit, George Washington type of thing. But, you know, I mean, I've had people tell me that they never lie, or whatever. Like they don't know how to lie. That's normally what people try to convince you of. Like I don't know how to lie. I'm a terrible liar.
Actually, I never. Well, I lied before I got met Christ. I did used to lie when I got in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't know the truth. The truth was more powerful than a lie. You just have to you have to handle the consequences. When you lie and you get caught in your lie, the consequences are more worse than the truth. And I learned how to. I'm not gonna never say I never. I can't lie. Because you will be able to tell. I ain't saying that I did it recently, but if I did lie, you will know that I'm not a good liar. If you're really close to me, you will know that. Because my cousin wife I did something, and she just started cracking up laughing at me, and I had to confess that I was not telling the truth. And she said I could tell.
Yeah.
And she couldn't believe. I was like, I'm a human being.
But see, here's the thing. The thing is, some people get really, really good at doing whatever it is that they want to do, and that can be they can get good at doing good things, and they can get good at doing bad things. So just like you were saying, you're not a good liar. I bet you if you practiced more, you would get better and better and better at it. Now that might not be something that you ever want to practice, and I wouldn't encourage you to do that. But some people have. They've gotten better and better and better at lying, at deceiving, and making people believe that they bullshit is true.
I could always tell to a certain extent, but when it comes to these dudes, I ain't even tell my dog. I'm just telling my dear self, but when it comes to dudes, that's my weak spot. I'm learning, but I can't tell when it's just straight up, flat out lying.
Well, maybe if you got to know them more or got closer to them and had been around them more consistently, you probably know at times when it's more likely that they're telling the truth and more likely that they might be lying. Lying is one of those things you can never really say whether somebody is straight up lying or not unless you know exactly what they are talking about, describing, or whatever. Like if somebody tells you that they were adopted and their whole family and everybody in their family look just alike. All right, they lying. You know what I mean? But if it was somebody that you just met, and you don't know, and they told you that they not adopted, and then you meet their family and they don't seem to look like any of their family or whatever, you wouldn't know that they were actually adopted or not. They may not have told you that. You know what I'm saying? They may have lied and said that they weren't adopted because maybe they felt like they weren't. But I'm saying all of this. And like I said, and the way that I mean that they felt like they may have felt like they weren't adopted is that they, how like some people don't use words like stepson or stepdaughter or half brother, half sister. You know what I mean? Like we don't use those kind of words in my family.
Me neither.
Yeah. So if you come from a family where they don't use those kind of words, you probably wouldn't use terms like I don't know what's going on with your phone, but you doing that thing again where I'm hearing, I don't know, some noise. No, it's not me. You know what I mean? Because you just stopped it. So who could it be? Who could it be, Stacy? Huh? I know who it could be. You. That's who.
Oh, God.
All right. So like I was saying, still, with all that being said, when you know how somebody was with somebody else, good, bad, whatever, you know what I mean? Like you may feel like, all right, if you know that somebody is always trying to play somebody for some money or some food, like people do certain things, they follow certain patterns. You know what I mean? So maybe the way that they get things from you is they come and they try to like butter you up, tell you how nice you look today. Oh, I like that outfit. Oh, did you just get your hair done? Or your skin looks so clear today. Whatever kind of compliments that they give you. But you know, after those compliments are finished, they gonna hit you up with asking you for something. Some money. Can you fry some chicken? Whatever. You know what I mean? You know that they...
Your skin looks so clear.
I mean, you might have been drinking a lot of water or whatever. It might be good and hydrated. You know what I mean? Look, your skin done cleared up. Ain't no acne. You know what I mean? Looking good, baby. Looking good. And they might know that talking to you like that might get them what they want. Or at least, you know, you might give some consideration to it. But does that mean that's the way they do with everybody? Does that mean that's the way they act with everybody? That's for them to know and you to find out, right?
Yeah, but I just go by like this. That's why I said that you can't judge everybody. Some people do other people different than they were doing. Then some people treat everybody alike. You never know.
Okay.
You never know.
So you don't subscribe to what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other.
No, I don't, because I have a really very best friend, and he's a male, but he don't do me like he do other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because of my nature, or he's a God-fearing man or whatnot, and he know I rock with God, but he don't treat me like he do other people.
All right, let's take the God angle. Do you think that God treats everybody the same? Like what God does for one, he'll do for everybody else.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what I don't understand. That's why I don't understand this envious and jealousy. God is no respecter for a person. What he'll do for you, he will do for the other. But the thing of it is, you gotta put work in it. And it might not turn out exactly like, mine might not turn out exactly like the person that, that's trying to be like me, if the person wants the result that I got, it might not be as it does that same way. Mm-hmm. But you got to put the work in. I never forget my childhood friend. I'm not gay or anything. I thought she was pretty. I thought she had everything going on. And all the boys liked her. Everything about her was just natural. I was like, Lord, whatever you did for her, I wish you could do it for me. Respect of course. And not knowing, like I said, not knowing in the future that I was going to end up being small. You couldn't have told me that I was going to be small looking into my future. You couldn't have told me I was going to have my own nails. Now, she was inspiring to me, but I didn't try to destiny swap with her or try to just, take her, drip or whatnot, What God, when I asked him this, he did it for me, but I put it to work. I went and kept getting my nails, kept going, took them off, they was mine. And it was expensive, growing my nails like that. Getting my hair did, small, everything. She always been naturally small. Mm-hmm. My friend always been naturally small. And like I said, I'm not gay, I'm not bisexual. She was cute. And she put work in her thing, what she was doing. Mm. And I wasn't jealous-hearted of her. I wasn't envious of her. I was just inspired by her. Because one time I got an offer for her, but it wasn't exactly like hers, but I got the idea from her.
Okay.
And people just want to steal you of your hard work. They want to steal what they can. They'll steal your damn name, but they think they can get away with it. They'll do it.
Yeah. I just want to tell you that you don't have to be gay or lesbian to recognize that somebody is good looking. I just want you to know that.
I know you know that, but you got trolls on here.
Yeah, but that's dumb.
And
That's
then I'm
that's the
doing
most
this Jesus
immature
walk.
thing I've ever seen.
I'm doing this Jesus walk, but they calling me everything but a child of God, and they want to ask for stuff that's not of God, and so I have to say that kind of stuff. I have to.
Funny you should say
But,
that. They call you everything except for the child of God. Has anybody ever called you the child of God and then nothing else?
No, I have been called. I have been called a good mother, and I keep trying to tell people I am not a mother. I'm not a mother. I've been called a good woman. Now that's where the fruit came in, and I finally seen it because I was getting so much negative. But I guess my fruit started coming up. I didn't give up.
I just want to change this whole narrative around because people always calling everybody everything except for the child of God. I want to find that one person that calls you the child of God, but he won't call you nothing else.
I've been called everything. That's all at the book.
But since we was talking about it, since we was talking about peeing in the bed, let me ask you this. Has a man ever peed in your bed?
Oh, no. Not that I know.
Okay.
And what I expose, I'm not that type of woman. I would not expose whoever I was involved with that kind of stuff with it on the air.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you might not expose that kind of stuff on the air, but if somebody pissed in your bed and then shit it in your face, you might talk about it. But the question is, if a man pees in your bed, would you believe that was the first time that he ever peed in the bed? Or would you think to yourself, like, I'll bet you this nigga done peed in a few beds. This motherfucker running around here marking his territory like a damn dog.
Yeah, well, I don't want to mark territory like that. I haven't been with a lot, so that haven't happened to me. That haven't happened to me. The only person who got away with that was my cat, and he didn't do that often.
Okay, check this out then. All right. Have you ever? This is something that you can see from afar. You know how some people get married more than once? They might have gotten married when they were younger, and maybe they got divorced. Maybe things didn't work out or whatever. Maybe their spouse passed away or whatever, and they get married again. And a lot of people say that second marriages work out better than first marriages because a lot of times, there's a lot of things going on with a person the first time they get married. And maybe they weren't mature enough. Maybe they weren't experienced enough. Maybe they just weren't really ready for the person that they married or ready for whatever marriage is supposed to be. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that people might have done in their first marriage, let's say a woman in her first marriage, maybe she cooked, maybe she was very domestic and very, maybe she was domestic and maybe even somewhat submissive in her first marriage. Now, let's say, okay, in her first marriage, if she was submissive in her first marriage and maybe even complicit in her first marriage, would you assume that that's how she was with all of her boyfriends leading up to marriage, leading up to the one she married? Or do you think that maybe she could have just done that in her marriage and not in her like relationships? And here's the reason I got to ask you this. I'm asking this because a lot of women, I've heard a lot of women say things like, don't give your boyfriend the husband treatment. You know what I mean? Like until he put a rock on your hand, until you say I do, don't give him the things that a wife should give her husband because he may never make you a wife.
Well, how you going to become a wife if you don't do that? I don't believe in that treatment. everybody, I asked my mom, and she, I try to do things by the book. Everybody that's married in my family, they lived together first before they got married, just to see if it'll work.
Okay.
And that's going against the book, right? That's shacking. But they end up getting married.
And which is different than what people say. A lot of people say that if you get married, if you move in with somebody, if you live with somebody before you get married, then you'll probably never get married. So, yeah, I mean,
it worked out. I'm glad it worked out for some of the people in my family because it worked out for them.
Okay. So, all right. So, back to what we was talking about. So, do you think that if a woman is the way that she was in her marriage, do you think that that's the way she was with her boyfriends before she married? All right, while you think about that, let's say the first marriage didn't work out, so she got married again years later, or however it went, right? Do you think that whatever she did in her first marriage, she would try to do in her second marriage?
Yeah, because I'm not even married, but the mistakes that I have made when it came to dating or having a partner, and I knew it was my fault. I didn't make those same mistakes with the next person that I will be dating, and I recognized it.
Okay.
Some people don't recognize what's going on, especially if it's their fault. They either they don't want to see it or they just don't recognize it. I recognize it, but if she was married, she probably would want her marriage, the second marriage, to last, and probably do something different about it.
Okay. So, like, what if the things that she did in her first marriage were never appreciated? Like she did everything to try to keep their marriage together, and maybe he still was abusive, and maybe he was a cheater, a liar, just a whole mess. Do you think that she would still try to be a good wife, quote unquote good wife, in her second marriage?
You know what? I would say yes, because some people don't. They do that. They're strong. They'll do that, and that could have been the first marriage could have been not for her.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, since we're talking about what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other. We can't always say, you know what I mean? That's my whole point. But sometimes some people are more consistent than other people. So sometimes you can kind of calculate how they'll be or how they've been. Let me see. Hold on a second.
You have a call from
Good.
The one them called Troy is on the line. How you doing, Troy?
What up, Rock man? What the hell up here? Eat some jerk chicken up in here, man.
You want jerk chicken?
And you know damn right I'm lying because I don't eat nothing spicy.
Rice and peas. Rice and peas.
Hey, man, I love the topic, man. You know what, man? I got to give you your props, man. You come up with some tremendous ass topics, man, that's relatable, that's understandable, that the chat can chat to. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm like SZA on a song with Kendrick talking about we chatting.
You chatting?
Yeah, man. You know, only what you love is solid. What's going on, everybody, man? I had to call in because I wanted to be part of the nucleus in this wonderful thing we call the Get Goism, you know what I mean? Urban Therapy, Sun 752.
I can dig it.
You know,
so
before I say that, how's your day going on? I got to hear the slogan.
Man, I'm feeling like a real man should. You already know.
I'm good. I don't know what's going on. I'll hear that.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
So all right. So chime in on what we talking about. So a lot of people say you. Okay, let me ask you this first. First off, did your mom ever have to warn you that what somebody will do to one, they'll do to the other? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So was it true?
Definitely. Well, the one thing is true. It's true. It's very true. And I always try to say, like, with that being said, my mom knew when she told me that, but she also was one of those people that, like I told you before, she would send me a touchdown of forgiveness. She showed me them touchdown throwing forgiveness things that she taught me as a kid has trickled down in my life, my livelihood. So at the end of the day, regardless of you saying what a person would do to you, they'll do to somebody else. You allowed that to happen, but you also taught me how to forgive that person when it happened. So it's like a catch-22. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. So when that person does that shit to you, and then you forgive them after a while, it becomes minute. Doesn't mean nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you got to try to retract yourself and change the narrative of how you deal with certain individuals. I mean, it's true. People will, and it's also like this, son. When you sit back and a person would do it to you, they do it to others. If they do it to you and they accept it, you cannot blame them for what they're doing because you accepted the bullshit.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because that's kind of like what I was alluding to a little bit, because this person might give off a certain kind of energy where this person doesn't give off that kind of energy. Right. So, like earlier, and I don't know if you was listening earlier when we first started, but I was saying like these thugs out here know that they can terrorize neighborhoods, they can terrorize citizens or whatever, but they don't try that shit with the cops.
Right.
You know what I mean? They might shoot you and kill you and not think nothing about it. But they know if they kill a cop, it's gonna mess things up for them. They're not getting out of it, they're not getting away with it. And it's gonna mess up everything for their whole gang or crew or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they know who to mess with and who not to mess with. They know who to play with and who not to play with. So it's hard to say that what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other, or what they do to one, they'll do to everybody. You can't say that in every single circumstance.
Yeah, because it is subjective. It's subjective.
It can be. It can be. And it depends. Some people are more consistent than others. Some people are more consistent than others. But I wanted to all right. Let's talk about cheating for a minute. Now, there are a lot of people who cheat. There are a lot of people who don't cheat. The general consensus is that a cheater is a cheater. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Some people think that that's true. Some people say, no, it's not always true. You know what I mean? But if it's true for you in your situation, you don't really give a fuck about what the rest of the world says or what their experience is. You know what I mean? For you, it might be like, well, yeah, I knew that a person cheated before in their past relationship, and they told me it was because of this, it was because of that. You know what I mean? Okay, all right, and you believed them, and you believed that they had moved on, and they were ready to change their ways and change their life around, or do better, or be more honorable. Now, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Maybe they did for a while or a time, and maybe when everything was all said and done, they reverted back and backslid to they previous ways. You know what I mean? But there can be a time limit for any and all things. So, but what would you say? What would you say? Do you think that a person that cheats on one person, or if they've cheated on a bunch of people, then that's just what they'll be? Or, well, like, what are your feelings on that? What are your thoughts?
Well, this is how I feel about it, right? It depends on the dynamic of the individual. Like, I was just, when you were sitting up here talking to the other caller, right, and I'm listening, right, and I'm listening to everything you're saying, and I'm saying to myself, where does this attitude start at? Because people just don't get relationships and start cheating. Oh, me and you always had a conversation before when you had something you had some in the chat before, and I was saying it always starts somewhere. So when you're growing up and you see your father do something, and you see your father taking you over his girlfriend's house, knowing damn well that's wrong, or you see your father, talking to other women in front of you, and you know damn well that's wrong. Same thing happened with young girls.
Yeah.
When young girls hear them say to their father, when young girls hear the mother saying your father ain't worth shit,
Okay.
or you turn back around and say your father ain't doing nothing, he ain't doing nothing out there talking to other bitches, or you argue in front of your kids. It's the kids and children are filtration systems. It soaks in, and then as they get older, they adapt to what their mom did. And then they run out there and they do the same shit their mom did. I know this because I've seen it. I've experienced it. And then you get close to the mom and you see how the mom is, and eventually you're gonna see parts of the mother in the daughter.
Mm.
You are, and the same thing with the father. Like, I know your father, and I know the parts that I know your father is in you, and they always the good parts. Because one thing about our parents, some parents will never let you see the bad parts.
Okay.
Some parents, I say. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like my father, God rest his soul, but I already told the chat about my father. But the thing about my father is that when he used to smoke weed and snort his cane, he'd be at the table in the living room as if I couldn't see him do it while I was at the dining room, while I was in the floor playing with his friends' children in the dining room with toys, as if I didn't see you pick up a straw or a little spoon and snort. But you would figure that would be my way of going. No, that's not what I went. So you learn and you soak in all that bullshit that you learn from parents, and it takes you into your teenage years, and then it takes you into your young adult years, and then it trickles down into the fucking adult years and your elder years, and you thinking, this is how the person I am. And you can't break, it's up to you to break that cycle. It's up to you to become a different person and stop following the cycle of what you learn from other people, and stop listening to your fucking girlfriends or people on social media. Sit back and tell you one thing, and they doing a whole nother thing. A man would get. Let's listen to this shit, and I'm not trying to babble. Just listen.
Okay.
Steve Harvey wrote a motherfucking book called Think Like a Man. How the fuck can you relate to him when you've been divorced twice? And then women gravitated to him like, oh, Steve, you're so smart and you're so intelligent. Oh, Steve, no, motherfucker. You knew how to get millions of dollars because you found a way to get into women's thought processes. That's not what, we don't do that. Men, it's just like a woman writing a book called Think Like a Woman. He found a way to get to a man's thought process, so we're going to gravitate. I got to go out there and buy that fucking book. So at the end of the day, a cheater going to be a cheater, but you have to break the cycle. It's up to you as an individual. If you do that to one person, you might not do that to the next person. Especially, and it also goes along with growth and maturity. As you get older, you're going to realize you're going to be either you're going to be in love or you're going to be in lust. And at some point in time, you're going to realize, I want to grow old and be in love with this person. I've got to do something right to keep this one. And they have a tendency to fuck it up because they keep following the trend. I yield to you, Chairman.
Okay, see, that's the thing. I've said on this show plenty of times that people do what works for them. If it works, And you have to understand the psychological meaning behind what I mean by it works for them. I mean, like whatever they are looking for in order to be comfortable, in order to get money, in order to have whatever it is that they're looking for. That's what working means to them. So just like the person who lies all the time, lying might work for them because it gets them the attention that they need, or somebody will give them something that they asking for or looking for, or whatever the case is. You understand what I mean? So that's same with cheating. Same with cheating. People can rationalize like, okay, in the chat, Carla said most people that cheat believe it is a particular reason why, and nobody don't understand why but them. I understand what she's saying. I would take it farther and say this. Cheaters know, first of all, it's a character flaw, and they know that it's not right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they don't broadcast to everybody that's what they do. They try to keep it in secrecy. If they thought for a second that was the right thing to do, then everybody would know about it. You understand what I mean? But they keep that on the low. But it's like some people look at it as like being a necessary evil. So the same people that might say, well, I wouldn't cheat if the person that I was with was doing the things that they supposed to do. I'm just like I said, so they'll make up excuses like that when you know in your heart of hearts is all bullshit, because the same person that makes excuses for cheating, you have to compensate for the people who get beaten, who get lied to, who get cheated on, who get all kinds of mistreatment done to them, and they say, and no matter what, they will not cheat. They might shut down the pussy or shut down the dick or whatever, but what they not going to do is cheat, because it's just not in them. They don't believe that works for them. They don't believe that that's going to give them the results that they need. Whereas the cheater believes that when he cheats and whoever he cheats with will give them what they're looking for, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's sex, whether it's a place to stay, whether it's validation, whatever it is. So when you find what works for a person, then you start to understand a little bit more about why they do what they do, and whether what they'll do for one, they'll do for the other, or what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other. All of us have probably been in a relationship with somebody who we have clear evidence how they were before they got with us or before we got with them. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people who have been friends for a long time or have known each other for a long time don't usually like to get together, because the learning process is gone. And for a lot of people, the learning process is the fun part. But it's the fun part, it's the exciting part, but it's also the part where you can hide your insecurities. If somebody already knows that you feel some kind of way, whether it's body image, whether it's your mental capacity, whether it's your emotions or whatever, when you know that somebody already knows that about you, it's hard to rationalize or convince somebody that you're doing what's best for yourself, or that you're trying to help a situation or whatever. But you can always do that with a person that doesn't know you very well. And you can always switch up your pitch and be like, well, yeah, I used to do this or whatever. But we know that even if you're dealing with somebody who you know that you have all the evidence of how they treated their past loves, whether it was boyfriends or girlfriends, depending on your gender and your preference, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna treat you that way, because you may be a new type of experience for them. You know what I mean? I'm sure that you have probably involved yourself with women that were nothing like the women that you were with before. Even if it's just like, all right, historically, I've only ever messed with chocolate women. And here this light skin joint, got me open. Well, those differences might open you up to different differences too. And it may make a difference in the way that you treat her. Not saying that you're going to treat her better or worse, but the way that you approach your treatment of her might be different. Like the same way when you mess with a John that has average looks, like she alright. You know what I mean? Like when you messing with a John where you feel like you're giving her the chance, like you the A side, she the B side. It's like, all right, you like, let me see what she can do. But when you messing with a 5-star and you feel like you the B side and she the A side, you might approach that a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's hard.
Because with that B side, you're willing. You think that you can just get over and say what you want to say, do what you want to do, because that B side going to look at you and be like, as if she needs you, or you're the only thing in her life, because she don't have that. She has a lot of insecurities within herself, which means if she's the A side, she feels as though she can look and frown and look down on you, and you're going to accept that bullshit.
Even if you don't, and yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. But even if you aren't the type of person to mistreat somebody, but you still may look at it like, well, I'm the prize here. So,
oh my fucking God,
like,
please, I was just going to say it, son. It's two things that I hate a woman saying. I'm the prize, and a man should know. Because if you're the prize, then what the fuck am I? What am I then?
Well,
there's all types of prizes.
Excuse me. I think where that term came in, and it is biblical, and the reason why they probably say that is it says, "He who finds favor with the Lord," that finds a good thing. That's only if they're looking for a wife. And I think that's where that came in at when they say dead or prize.
Well, let me put it to you like this. I can respect that. What you're saying, but I also can have I see that there's a lot being said about that on social media, and where people gravitate to social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, fucking YouTube, Twitter, all this other shit. When they gravitate to it, and every woman is saying, "I'm the prize, I'm the prize, I'm the prize." There's types of prizes. Like you got Cracker Jack prizes. Every time you get Cracker Jack, you get that fucking toy. That's a prize. Are you that one? What type of prize are you? Are you the damn prize you win on Jeopardy or Price is Right?
Yeah, you doing too much. Cut his mic off. Cut his fucking mic off. This nigga's all right.
No, that's true. What prize are you? Because if you're the prize, then what the fuck am I then?
No.
If I'm already treating you like a prize, and you feel like you want to come at me, and you got some type of discrepancy in things that I'm doing, that I'm feeling as though I'm doing right, but you want to point out flaws, and you say, well, you ain't doing this, I'm the prize. If you don't do it, another man will. Yes, another man will. The same thing with a woman. That's the thing about it. You touched on something else too, son. You said I'm going both parts. When a woman or man say, "I wouldn't have done it if I wouldn't have done that if you was doing your part." Well, that's fucking bullshit. Cause see, nobody can make a person do what they don't want to do. In the words of Black Sheep, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that. And that's how it goes. Whatever decisions you make, they're your fucking decisions. If you decide to cheat, that man didn't make you cheat. Because just as quick as you cheat is the quickest you can work it out. So you can't say that. You're finding flaws to benefit your narrative. Can't do it, bro. I yield again.
All right. So I look at it like you can always, I don't know. I disagree with some things. I think that you can definitely get a person to do what they don't want to do if you can make them see the benefits of doing it. Like, let's say a person is overweight and they really want to lose weight. They really want to, get healthier. They want to feel better about themselves. They want to look better. If you can get them to see how okay. If you can get them to see how dieting and exercising can not only be easier for them, but also beneficial in the end, then you might be able to get them to do it. You know what I mean? Even if you only have one clear shot, whereas the likelihood that you're going to be able to keep them on this track is low. But if you can make the most out of this one shot deal, then you have a chance to change everything. Stacy, that mother, yeah, yo, if you don't fix that motherfucking phone, fix that bitch now. Okay. So yeah. So you might be able to get somebody to do that one time or whatever, or at least try. The thing is, when we talk about what they'll do to one, they'll do to the other, or what they'll do for one, they'll do for the other. You have to take a person's energy and influence into consideration. Just like you may have never thought about or had the desire to I don't know, go through the safari at Six Flags. Like, I don't even really care about animals. They stink, they don't listen. I don't really like that. But if it's somebody that you really like, and somebody who you trust, and somebody who has been known to have good ideas or whatever, somebody that is not going to lead you into a dangerous situation or whatever, you might consider it like, all right. I mean, I don't really want to go through this safari shit. I'd rather just go get on the rides right in the amusement park. But all right, I'll go through the safari for you if you pay for it. I ain't paying for it. But that's not something that they would do. But they might try it for you. I mean, we use this tactic on our children all the time. We make our kids do what they don't want to do daily. Some of them take it to heart. Some of them will come back and bitch about the most regular shit that we made them have to do. Like, used to call me used to tell me that I smelled like outside, and they used to make me go to bed. Used to embarrass me in front of the rest of, like, in front of everybody. Like, yeah, and I'll do it again if you come in here smelling like outside. Fuck is wrong? So taking a person's sensitivities into consideration and taking somebody's trust level and confidence in a person might make the difference between what you might do for one versus what you do for the other. Same way as somebody who treats you nice, or somebody, or like a child that's always on their good behavior, gets treated a little different than the rest of the kids that may be disruptive. That may be disruptive or are not as much of a standout as this child might be. Now, it wasn't always the smartest kids who got the best grades in when we was in school. Some students were just so friendly toward the teacher. We called it brown nosing, kissing ass, whatever, kissing up, whatever. But they knew what to do in order to at least get some consideration for the things that they needed. So whereas, hey, it can be the difference between a D and a C and a B, a minus or a B plus, and extra credit, which got you to the A. So yeah, they might not do that for everybody, But guess what? Everybody might not have opened their fucking mouth and asked for it. You did. So guess what happened with you? She did something, she or he did something different for you than they did everybody else. Everybody else might have wanted what you got, but everybody else didn't know. Or should I say nobody else knew that they needed to open their mouth because the closed mouth don't get fed. So you got more than somebody else. So that teacher or that grantor, that provider didn't do for everybody else the way that they did for you. Same way is you may feel comfortable, even if you're the type of person that always asks for what you want or whatever, somebody is going to come into your life that stops all that shit. Somebody is going to come in your life that you're going to be intimidated with, whereas you normally step up and ask for exactly what you want or demand exactly what you want. This person makes you say, nah, I don't know if I want to ask. All of a sudden, you are afraid of rejection. You fear rejection. All the other times with everybody else, you might have been like, yo, I got to get mine. Yo, let me have that. I need that. Can I have that? But this person might have a different energy where not only did you think that they were going to say no, they might have growled at you or some shit. Difference. It's different. And so you can be consistent in one area and inconsistent in another area. Or you can be consistent for the most of the time, but certain times, certain choice times, well, it's like, no. So, yeah.
It's a good topic.
You know, because it was bothersome to me. And what I think about a lot is that, you know, like Grown Women Don't Try Me said, sis, as a woman, we are pride. But I want to know what grown woman, just put in the chat, what does the prize consist of? Because if that's the case, then men are prizes too, right? If I'm sitting up here and I'm like the OJ song "Loving You," when he said, "Long as I keep the food on the table, long as I keep the bills paid, baby, long as I'm loving you, long as you loving me, everything is all right." And then we add in, I take care of our children and make sure that they're well taken care of, sit at the table, help them with their homework, prepare them for bed, take them to school. If I'm doing all the above with this shit, am I a prize?
No.
That makes you whoever you with, you their king.
Well,
You know,
they might be looking at you like you the servant.
Yeah.
They might be looking at you like you they servant.
Well, that's the part that if that's the case, if a woman, so what makes a woman a prize? So what makes her a prize is the bedroom is not part of the prize. Because anybody can get a piece of ass anywhere, whether you getting it for free or you pay. So what makes you the prize?
She in her mind.
Some women are just different, and
God damn, the app crashed. The hell? Hold on. The app said it went tumbling down, man. It went tumbling down. Oh, we're gonna get it right back. Chill. We good. We're gonna get it back. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. We good. Hold on. Get Troy back.
Please leave your message for.
He's probably trying to call in. He's probably trying to call back. All right, I'm gonna be patient because we're gonna mess around and have the lines all crossed. But I know he's listening, so I'm gonna say this. For some women, they may feel like they are the prize because of their feminine energy warrants other people doing things for them. Some might be right. I'm not going to say that they're all the way incorrect in that thinking just because it may be unbalanced. But yeah, maybe their ability to make other people or to influence other people to do for them makes them the prize. And that's whether they work hard for what they do or what they get or not. All right, let me try again since it seems like we're clear.
Please leave your message for
I want wow. I want wow. All right, Troy and Stacy, the lines are open. Y'all can call back. Call back. But yeah, bottom line is we talking about what they'll do for one, or what they'll do to one, they'll do for or to the other. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes it's not that true. Sometimes it's true for us personally. Sometimes it's not. There are times when we pick and choose. We pick our spots. We choose our battles wisely. We try to. You know what I mean? You don't want to waste your time fighting everybody. I ain't going to fight everybody. But you might duke it out with who you duke it out with in the way that you duke it out. So, all right.
you have a call from.
Yo, the app had crashed, my dude. My bad.
No problem.
Yeah. So, but what I was saying, I don't know if you heard me. I was saying that a lot of women consider themselves to be a prize because of the way their feminine energy attracts other people to do for them. So that's what makes them the prize. Not necessarily. It could be looks for some. It could be the body. Well, the body is the face and the body are looks, but that might be what they consider the prize to be, or they may have. I can hear one of your devices. I'm hearing feedback.
Over me.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Okay. So they may have been brought up culturally to believe that they would that they would a prize. Maybe they mom and or dad told them all their lives, no, a man is supposed to do this for you. And that's the way it's supposed to be, no exceptions. So you are the prize. And if a man wants to be with you, he'll do this, that, and the third consistently, each and every time. And you should never, ever, ever settle for less. Now, that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to run around screaming that you're the prize. But I'm just saying that may do that. Well, I'm just saying that might explain what some people consider, what some women might consider themselves
to be the prize.
Mm-hmm. That might explain it. It might.
I can. That could be one of the things, but I don't particularly care for that adaptation of being the prize, because your looks in the way that you conduct yourself is not a prize thing. Because there's people out there, then that means that if that's the case, then I'm the prize too. Son, you're the prize. So what I'm saying is that the respect level that you give a person, the way you conduct yourself as a woman, the way your respectable abilities, it has nothing to do with your sexual prowess. It has nothing to do with that. The way that the way that you're willing to conversate and listen and connect with one another. That things like that can make you prize worthy. So when you sitting up here and you saying I'm the prize, tell that man what makes him not the prize. Stop saying I'm the prize. If you wasn't the prize, we wouldn't want to be with you. We're with you because we see something in you, which makes you prize worthy. So we know that. You don't have to blurt that out. But when you sit up here and you saying that, that's downgrading your partner, your man, or your boy, your husband or your boyfriend is downgrading them. Then what the fuck am I?
Mm-hmm.
What am I, worthless piece of shit? I'm a hang on, and like you just said, everything I just said, if a man does all this, you say, well, she must look at you. She might look at you as a slave.
Well,
that's not right. It's not right.
Okay. All right. maybe I shouldn't have said slave.
No, that's the truth, though. No, because I heard that before. That's the truth.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever you sign up for is normally the way that people are gonna, they gonna handle it that way.
And that's the thing about it, is that I implore men to lay out the groundwork during the relationship. During the relationship. I'm not saying that when you come out of the damn, when they open the doors to the horse track, you just get to running and say things you don't like, and this is I am, this is I am. Because all that shit that you're doing, you're giving red flags. What I'm saying is that as things gradually go along, you make decisions, you let them know this is the person that you are. And I am willing to make changes to benefit our relationship. But are you willing to make changes to benefit the relationship?
All right. So
keep on talking. This is my son on the phone. Keep on talking. I'm gonna switch right back over.
Okay. Well, what I want to ask him when he comes back is, since Troy is married, I want to ask him about what he knows about people who have gotten married once or twice or three. Some people have gotten married 3-4 times. It's kind of crazy, but it happens. But or more, Hollywood types or whatever. But people who have been married multiple times, and I mean, not just twice. I'm going to say people who've been married more than twice, I would like to know what their mindset is about how they look at this whole concept of what you'll do for one, you'll do for the other. Have they conducted themselves the same in every marriage? And if so, why didn't those marriages work out? Or the other person in the marriage, what do they think was consistent about those people? Because at the end of the day, y'all are together. And so we have enough material to be able to draw from. But yeah, as far as somebody or nobody or whatever, the whole prize thing, I could see how somebody would be offended by the whole, somebody saying that they're the prize and whatever, but especially if they were implying or straight up saying that they are the prize and you're not. That's like saying that, well, you should be happy to be with me and I have no...
I'm back, bro.
Okay. All right. Now that you're back, I wanted to ask you about marriage as far as people who have been married multiple times. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever known anybody that was married more than twice?
Yes.
Okay. So people who were married more than twice, what would you say from the people that you know? What would you say about their behavior in every one of their marriages? Like, from their first marriage to their third or fourth, do you think that they have been consistent? Would they even entertain that?
Consistent in what way? Be more.
Okay. So since we're talking about what you'll do for one, you'll do for the other, right?
Right.
Or or what you do to one, you'll do to the other. If you've been married more than twice, because a lot of people say that the second marriage normally works out better than the first marriage, because a lot of people get married when they're young, they're impressionable, they're not really ready, for what marriage might entail. So the second marriage, they a lot of times they know themselves better. They're ready for whatever comes. They have more experience and time under their belt. So they say that the second marriage works out better because they kind of know what they're doing more than what they knew in the first marriage, and they know what to expect more in the second marriage than they did in the first. So when people have been married 3 or 4 times, what's the expectation? What were they in their first marriage that's different than the fourth marriage or the third or fourth or fifth or
If
whatever.
if you getting married more than 2 times or and all that, then you have to look within yourself and find out what is there something
Yo,
within
you
you.
have to hold on. You have to talk for like 2 minutes straight. Go ahead.
If you getting married more than 2 or 3 times, there's no way in the world you can sit back and say that it's that person. Now the first one, it might be, mutual situation, or the man might have done something wrong, or the woman might have done something wrong. But then you go to the second one. If you learn from the first one, you can't carry the baggage from the first one to the second one. So now, if the second one, before you already done your homework on your second wife or your second husband, therefore there should be a different way of maneuvering with one another. There should be a connection. There should be more conversations about family. There should be more things about money. Everything should be a connected thing, because you just came from a first marriage where though all that stuff didn't exist, and he might have cheated, or she might have cheated, and you didn't accept that bullshit. So you go to the next relationship, either he or she, if you're not willing to work it out, or you're not willing to go above and beyond, or you're not willing to sit back and accept the flaws and all of each other, then going to a third marriage is not going to change that. It's not going to change a damn thing. It's just like this. One thing my mom always said to me, because one time I was going through so much shit in a relationship, I said, I just got to move. I'm going to move out of the state. I'm going to move away. One thing my mom said to me, and it still resonate with me, is that no matter where you go, you have to take you with you. You're the common denominator. You're the most important person in the focal point of what's going on with you. So if you got to take you with you, and you can't put all that attention in what you're going through, right? Then at the end of the day, the flaws of you or the other person, and you're not willing to nurture the relationship. Therefore, a first marriage, a second marriage, you go to a third marriage, you're still carrying you into the third marriage. So you go first, second, third, fourth. When does the changes come? So now you have to make changes within you now.
But this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm asking. If you say that what you do with one, you'll do with the other, do you think that a person who has been married more than twice, like 3, 4, 5 times, do you think that they have been consistent in what they and maybe they've been consistent in the people that they've married? Maybe is it possible that they have married the same person 4 or 5 times? You know what I mean?
That could be true. I was just sitting up here saying that.
Mm-hmm.
But see, like another thing, son, about it is that if you do it the first time and you do it the second time, right? Then you're not going to stop doing it the third or fourth or fifth time. You're going to continuously be you, unless you're willing to make some changes within you. Just like I said to you when we had a conversation off the phone, I said, you said your pop said the same thing to you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you do, no matter where you go or what you do, you have to deal with you or take you with you. And that's the most important thing. So if you're not willing to compromise and make decisions and change you as a person after leaving that first marriage, then you're taking you as a person into that second marriage. You already seen the red flags from the man or the woman in the first marriage. And then you went to the second marriage. You must have just dived into that one, because there's nobody on this planet that says, I'm going to get married the first time. When I get divorced this first time, I'm going to get married again. So how long did it take you to get married again?
But what I'm saying is, would they be able to say for themselves that they were the same person, or that they did the same things good in the first marriage to the third, fourth, fifth, or whatever? Would they be able to say? Because this whole thing is about what they'll do to one or what they'll do for one, they'll do to or for the other. So, you know, I'm like I said, and normally people say that the second marriage works out so much better than the first marriage because you know what to expect. Let's say you get married when you 21, 22 years old. You ain't really lived none of your life. You know what I mean? You may or may not even be out of college yet. So if you went at all. So, you know, your idea of marriage might be a little starry-eyed. Even if you're a woman who feels like, all right, I am 21, 22, even 20, anywhere between 20 and 25 years old. You might be thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna be a good wife to my man. I'm gonna cook for him, clean for him, wash his clothes, you know, do the dishes, you know, take care of him, a lady in the streets, freak in the sheets, all of that kind of shit, right? All right, cool. You do all of that because that's what you thought that a wife should do. And if you do everything that you were supposed to do, quote unquote, then your man will do what he's supposed to do. Okay, even if, let's say your man does do what he was supposed to do. Like maybe he feels like, I'm supposed to be a provider. I'm supposed to make sure that the bills are paid. I'm supposed to make sure that the grass is cut. I'm supposed to make sure that you know, I fix things around the house, make sure that the cars are clean and running, whatever, blah, 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 blase, yada, 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 this, that, and the third. Even if you, welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Call over the last numbers 8658. Hold on just a second. So even if you have done everything in your marriage that you thought was supposed to be done, because that's how you were taught that marriages work. That's how you were taught that people stay together. And then, so I'm not saying that two people in the marriage were both doing what they were supposed to do, but you were doing your part. In your second marriage, if things didn't work out in your first marriage, but you did everything that you were supposed to do, but maybe you were taken for granted, maybe you were taken advantage of, maybe you were straight up abused and unappreciated, would you still do that in your second marriage? And let's say you did. Like, listen, I know I was right in my first marriage. I was just dealing with somebody who didn't appreciate what I was bringing to the table, what I did and what I was doing. But I'm still going to do the same thing in my second marriage because I know that that's the right thing to do. All right, second marriage. Hold on. Second marriage starts off good. Blah, blah, blah. It seems like it's going to work. But maybe y'all grew apart in your second marriage. Because your second marriage, you're a little bit different. You done learned a little bit more. You done experienced a little bit more. You understand yourself more. You understand human behavior more. Your expectations are different. Where when you were a young girl or a young boy, you was just expecting everybody to just do their part, whatever, take care. You know, I mean, you might have thought some cookie cutter stupid shit. As long as she keeps my belly full and my balls empty, then I'm good. Because people, you know what I mean? They say that's all men really care about. Like, oh, so it don't matter what you think or any of the other things you do, as long as you fucking sucking and feeding, then he'll be all right. So he don't need a brain. What he needs is a tool. Okay, let's see how that go. But in your second marriage, you know, you might feel different. Like, yeah, all that sexual activity and meals are good, but now here I am, 400 pounds, and horny or whatever. But I don't really have nothing to show for it. You know, so maybe I need a little something different. Maybe I need to conduct myself a little different. Maybe I need to change my expectations. So if the second marriage doesn't work out, whether it was similar to the first marriage or not, it might, you know, that third marriage, well, like, what's the mindset? And am I the same person? Am I going to do the same things in the first marriage and the second marriage as I'm going to do in the third marriage or the fourth? Like, Is it possible? What you think, Troy?
Well, my thing is this: if you was doing a lot of, let's say you was doing 85% positive things in your first marriage, and like you said, you wasn't appreciated. She took you for granted and all that, and you wound up getting a divorce. I don't see you having to make changes in your second marriage. I don't think that you should ever go to take the same bullshit that you went to one relationship into another relationship. I think you have to constantly stay the course of the individual you are, minus the negative bullshit that might have been in your first marriage. If it was you, you have to change that. But in your second marriage, if you're going in there with positivity, and you have to realize that woman might be, you might have a certain kind. That woman might be the same woman as your first wife, and it never showed itself until you got married. So now you have to say to yourself, am I willing to go through this bullshit? And if I'm willing to deal with this bullshit, or do I have to move on? And if I move on, is it going to be a third marriage? And if it's a third marriage, what changes do I have to make now?
All right, so you think people really you really think people change after marriage?
I think certain people make change after marriage. I think that they show. Let me just ask you. Well, let's think about it. Men always say that the sex is not a lot more sex when you get married. They're very much they're more argumentative when they get married. They find more flaws in you than when they get married. You know, the things that they didn't accept during a relationship before you got married, all of a sudden you don't accept it. You know, because you want to find these flaws, and now since I'm your husband, like I don't like if we came into a marriage and we was a team for all them years, 30, almost like 20, 25 years, you don't change it and say, no, I think you should pay everything. That's not how our marriage is. Our marriage is teamwork. We're a team. So if you make them changes, you're making them changes. And if I'm not willing to make them changes, then you come up with the slogan, well, the only reason why I did this is because you wasn't doing that. Then, no, you did that shit because that was your decisions. And you felt as though it was your decision. So we have to separate this shit apart now. It's over. So that's the thing I'm saying.
But my question to you was, okay, about people changing after they get married. So,
yeah, I mean, people do change after they get married. I don't really, I don't know too much about men because I'm not observant of men when they get married. But when women get married, I've seen changes, and I've heard from friends of mine or family members of mine saying, it changed a lot. You know what I mean? You know, and if that woman was the same, if she was a pain in the ass and ignorant and disrespectful and doing stupid shit before you married her, why would you marry her?
Because a lot of people think that when they marry somebody, that they think that when they get what they're looking for, when they get what they want, then they will change for the better. People believe that.
Right. People believe that, but they also, or they can also stay the course.
And they often do.
The same individual.
They often do. But the thing, but my point is, that's why I'm asking, do you think that people change after marriage? Because I really don't think. I think that people, okay, maybe I shouldn't say they don't. I'm going to say that I think that their core beliefs and their foundation remains the same. I think that marriage can change your expectations of people. But if you was shitting on somebody, I've literally known somebody who told me that, yo, when I get married, I ain't going to be cheating on my wife, right away. Never said I'm not going to be cheating on my wife. Like all that shit is in the rear view. That's past it. That's not what he said. He said, yo, when I get married, I ain't gonna be cheating like right away. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna let the dust settle a little bit. Let me, And I was like,
go through the honeymoon stage.
I was like, damn, nigga. But he was transparent. He was keeping it a buck because he was talking to me. So that lets you know he was already heavily cheating before the marriage.
There we go.
And how his wife didn't know that or see that is beyond me. Who knows? Who knows? But she might have figured, well, we've been together, we've been able to weather these storms or whatever. He's never been disrespectful with it. So after we get married, maybe he'll be even better.
Or she might have been already doing her dirt as well.
Well, I can't speak for her side, but I'll tell you this.
She'll speak for him.
And I'll say this. If I had to speak for her side, I would say that she was definitely more faithful than him. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's my man and everything, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't disappointed in himself for his behavior, but he carried himself right into that marriage, and they still married to this day. So, and it's been a long time. That was how long ago was that? That was.
So do you think that his philosophy changed?
No, but I'll say this: where he was weak, in areas where he was weak, he remained weak, but manageable, like a functional addict. And the areas where he was strong, maybe he got a little bit stronger, and that compensated. But they found a way to be together, stay together, and whatever. So what can I really say? Shit. I mean, he married to his wife. So whatever I think about it personally, you know what I mean? They managed to stick it out, and they did pretty well. So, and are doing pretty well, regardless. And trust me, he ain't changed like that. You know what I mean? He always got a story for me, like, and then I was like, God damn it. But fuck it. Okay. But only thing I'm saying is he didn't change much, and I don't think she changed that much either. They kind of grew together, grew up together, however you want to term it. But I don't think that people change all that much when they get married. That's why, when people talk about these whirlwind romances and marrying somebody that they really don't know, that's why I don't think it's a good idea. Because you don't know the person yet. You know what you like, and you may be satisfied that person is providing that, but you haven't been with them long enough to see the changes that they go through or how they handle certain situations when you haven't been with them long enough to see how they handle when they are afraid or when they've been down for a while or when they are pressured. You know what I mean? You just don't know. You haven't learned that yet. Okay, hold on a second.
You have a call from.
Caller with the last numbers 8658. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Please turn down your device.
Welcome to the Urban.
Can you hear me? Oh shit.
I can now, but first of all, let me say happy Saturday. Number two, don't put me on hold that damn long again.
You wasn't on hold. You was just, you know what I mean?
Don't leave me hanging out there, okay?
You know what? You can't always jump right in when I'm talking. You know what I mean? First of all, you're being rude. I need to put you on hold now.
Go ahead. I'll show up at your door.
Never mind. Go ahead. Say what you guys say. Say what you guys say. I ain't trying. I don't need all this smoke. We need an end anyway. No doubt. No doubt. And we in overtime, okay. So don't take it all day.
I just wanted to say, people didn't get married more than once. I did it twice. Okay, I'm happy. But you only put into a marriage, or you only get what you put into a marriage, be it the man or the woman. And that's being honest. You have to know going in what to expect from your partner or what you expect from your partner, and vice versa. I mean, it's a contract basically,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And if you can respect each other's opinions and respect each other's truths, then you have a marriage. You got to learn to live with each other. Everything can't be one-sided. Like, the man can't say, well, I demand you do X, Y, and Z, and expect the woman to fold and do that. Because today's women, you know, we ain't doing that. We want to be heard as well as seen. We deserve that. We need to be a partnership so that things that we're trying to accomplish, we can accomplish together. It can't be, well, hey, I just want to do this, and you do whatever you want to do. It doesn't work that way.
How
That's
come?
all I really wanted to say. How come?
Yeah.
Did you just ask me that?
Yeah. Like, why can't you just do what I tell you to do?
Because I have my own mind. I am my own person. I have my own opinion.
But I got mine too. So why can't you just do what I tell you to do?
Why can't we meet in the middle and compromise?
What if my ideas are better than yours?
You be making.
What if my ideas are better than yours?
Says who?
I said, what if? I'm not saying that they are, but what if they are?
Then we can compromise. What are you doing? Why are you picking at me?
I'm just asking you a question because you come in here all defiant or whatever. I don't see
I
why.
wasn't defiant. I'm explaining my opinion.
Okay, and I respect your opinion, but I have questions about this opinion. I don't see why you can't just do what I tell you to do. Why? Why not?
You want to really know why?
Yeah.
You really want to know why? Because I'm a hard-headed, stubborn black woman, and I'm entitled to my own opinion.
Thank you.
Now you asked
Thank
me,
you.
I told you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get to the real root cause, the real problem, because you want to be a stubborn black woman, and that's why marriages be on their third and fourth.
Mine ain't.
But my question is,
Let me tell you why yours is not though. Yours is not because that stubborn black woman is willing to compromise.
no, she probably wouldn't divorce him.
What you think? You said I want to.
You know,
I want a divorce.
say something, but out of respect for your platform, I'm not going to say it.
I know this voice. I know this voice, and I've been disrespected before. But but seriously though, you know, like you talk about. Okay, let me ask you this: since you've been married twice, were you the same person in your first marriage than you were in your second marriage?
To be honest, no.
Okay.
To be honest, perfectly honest, no, I was not.
Yeah, and I'm only talking about your person. What would you say the differences were?
My person,
Mm-hmm.
number one, I was young. Number two, I was very impressionable. And number three, I thought that whatever my husband said was, you know, it was what it was. I didn't have enough confidence in myself. And I'm going to admit that, to think for myself, even though I knew things were not right, to stay in that marriage that I thought was a good marriage, I was willing to do whatever he wanted. And I lost myself in that marriage.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does. Now, what things did you consistently do in your first marriage to your second marriage? Are there any things that you took from your first marriage, as far as yourself is concerned, that you took to the second marriage?
I learned to stand up for myself and not be fearful.
Okay, but no, I'm talking about. Okay, so but you didn't describe yourself as standing up for yourself and not being fearful in your first marriage. So I'm asking you, what things did you do in your first marriage that you actually did in your second marriage? Maybe because you knew or thought that those were the right things to do. It could be anything from folding socks to ironing.
I knew how to choose me.
Okay.
That's what I learned from my first marriage. I no longer considered myself beneath him, that I had to do his bidding and not be able to voice what I needed. If that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense, but I don't think you're answering the right question. All right, so we're talking about what you'll do for one, or what you'll do to one, you'll do to or for the next one. So like, all right, so like I said, in your first marriage, you describe yourself as not being as secure, as being as confident, but as confident. So I'm saying, but what are the things that you did do in your first marriage that you did again in your second marriage? Whatever those things may be. Like maybe in your first marriage, you thought it was a good idea to cook 3 meals a day. So maybe in the second marriage, you did the same thing. You understand? So whatever it is about yourself, you know, I'm looking for the consistent thing, not necessarily the change.
Consistently.
All right, let me just ask you some questions. Go ahead. In your first marriage, did you iron your husband's clothes?
Yeah.
Did you iron your husband's clothes in the second marriage?
Only if I'm asked.
Okay. So that's a difference right there. All right.
Yeah.
Did you cook in your first marriage?
Of course.
Did you cook in your second marriage?
Most definitely.
All right. So there's the consistency right there. Did you contribute financially in your first marriage?
In my first marriage,
Yeah.
I was the head contributor.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. So in your second marriage, did you? I
Sure, do me a favor, Troy. Don't start laughing, okay? It ain't funny.
That ain't funny. But so in your second marriage, did you contribute financially also?
Of course, but it's 50-50 here.
Okay. No, that's cool. But you know, because a lot of times people will try to shut down what they've done, even if it was the right thing, if it didn't turn out the right way in one situation versus another situation. So I was just trying to ask you what things fit the bill of what they'll do for one, they'll do for the other, or what they'll do. Did you cheat in your first marriage?
Hell no.
Are you still cheating in your second marriage?
Hell no.
Okay. All right. So you still lying like you did with your first marriage? No?
You know, so help me God. When I see you, it's on. Okay? It really is. I didn't lie in the first one. I didn't lie in the second one. I didn't cheat in the first one. I ain't cheating in the second one. Okay? So now I've answered your question.
All right, cool.
What else you got?
Well, I was trying to see like the whole thing about what they'll do for, okay. All right, let's take your first husband, right? Now, just as an example. Now, did you have any information about how your first husband treated his girlfriends before y'all got married or before y'all got together?
No, I did not.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm. No.
Well, because of his behavior during y'all marriage, Do you think that he continued to do the same things to women he dealt with after y'all broke up? Or do you think
I
maybe
know
he
for
changed?
a fact he did.
So there we go. So you understand what I'm talking about? So he fit the bill of what you'll do to one, what you'll do to one person, you'll do to the next person, right?
Of course he did.
All right. Now, because you didn't know how your first husband conducted himself and his relationships before y'all got together, what if a friend of yours or a family member of yours had told you, listen, this dude is not a good dude. He's not the one, you shouldn't mess with him. Do you think your younger self would have listened?
Let me tell you this. My dad hated him. My dad begged me not to marry him. And my hard-headed butt thought I was in love. I paid the price. End of story.
Okay. All right. So you really were a hard-headed black woman. Ain't that what you said?
Stubborn.
I'm going to own up to who I am. Like it or don't. I'm who I am. I ain't changing for no damn body.
All right, cool. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You already said that you changed.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
what
did.
I did was,
You did. You said in your first marriage you were submissive.
you know what, Troy?
you-
You stay out of this. And as for you, son, you know how we talk, okay? So I'm going to put it to you like this way. I found someone who accepted me for who I was, did not want to change me, respected my opinions that I never had in my first marriage. Okay? So I'm always going to be stubborn. I'm born stubborn. I'm always going to be hard-headed, but I know how to compromise. That's the difference.
Okay, that's cool. Now, your second husband, right?
Yes.
Did you know anything about him and the way that he conducted himself in relationships before y'all got together?
Yes, I did.
All right. So would you consider that to be a good thing or a bad thing or a non-factor?
Let me put it this way without telling all of my life story. When I met my second husband and we started dating, he put everything on the table. He told me what was what wasn't what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He was open, he was honest. When I met my husband, he was still married, but he had been separated for 15 years. He had never gotten a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get a divorce because his wife was incapable of taking care of herself. And I'm not going to go into all of that, but he kept her on his insurances and everything.
Okay.
He said he never divorced her because he knew if he did, what it might do to her.
Okay.
She was that really dependent person. So maybe to him, I was a breath of fresh air because I am very independent.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Everything was put on the table. From the first time we met, the first time we went to dinner, we spent over 2 hours talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about himself. He told me his likes, his dislikes, and I told him the same.
And you found him to be honest and truthful.
Exactly.
Okay. That's
So you told him you were stubborn.
He knew I was stubborn.
No, did you tell him?
No. He knew by my actions, Troy.
Oh, okay.
That's, you gotta really listen to what she's saying, Troy. He liked it because she was a little brown skinned cutie. She had a little, I mean, she had a little something going on.
I'm a fight.
Plus she had a job and was breaking bread. I mean,
I give you props. I give you respect from the first marriage when you said, I was the only breadwinner.
Exactly.
Yeah, that wasn't no Teddy Pendergrass 70-30, 60-40. That wasn't even 50-50 love. That's 100-0.
Exactly.
Damn.
All right. I want to thank both of y'all for calling in and the caller before. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the insight. I
You
appreciate.
still ain't got no more questions for us, son?
Got no more what?
No more questions for her.
I mean, there are things I was going to ask her, but you know, she be getting an attitude. So no, she be getting an attitude. First of all, I don't like. Look, first of all, I don't like when people are confident, especially women. I don't like that. So you know what I mean. I'd rather catch you off guard, jump out out of a dark closet, say boo, that kind of thing. I don't want nobody ready for what I'm going to do. Or thinking that they can win. I don't like that. Like, go ahead with all that confidence. Give me what you were in your first marriage, and then I'll ask you questions.
We can stand toe to toe.
No, I want toe to toe.
You bring it, I can handle it.
No. I don't want that. I want to dominate, crush, and totally demoralize. But we can do that tomorrow.
I want the same thing. I want the same thing. So bring it.
I said no. And I don't like your attitude.
Well, you gotta remember, no don't mean nothing. She's stubborn, son.
I know.
No doesn't mean nothing.
Hard-headed black women. Hard-headed black woman. Now she empowering other people to be the same. And I don't, you know what I mean? That's not good.
No.
Now, watch. Somebody
back their power.
Men
have taken power from women for centuries.
Lies.
No, that's true.
Lies. Men have done nothing but empower women for years and years and years.
Tell that to
from the beginning of time, women have been. From the beginning of time, women have taken power from men. Look at Eve telling Adam to bite the apple, and when he didn't, she bent over and showed them that thing between her legs. And he bit every apple on that fucking tree after that. That's how women took over society.
That's because he was weak.
Well, y'all do that. That's what y'all do.
You said ask any crackhead. No, I'm going to ask the Social Security.
I said tell that.
No, I'm gonna tell. Here's what I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell the Social Security Administration. You know what I mean? Because all these women living off of men's Social Security, because y'all be killing us first. You know what I mean? But y'all ain't ready to have that conversation. My mom living off my dad and my stepdad Social Security. What part of the game is that?
It ain't.
Even God is empowering y'all to outlive us. God is empowering y'all. I might die today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to schedule it.
Let me just thought out.
I don't think I'm going to make it past 8:30. Call me at 8:45. See what happens.
Let me get my thought out, since you and Troy want to play, and y'all want to double team a black woman. Okay?
No, a stubborn black woman.
Hard-headed. Hard-headed. There you go.
Determined. You name it. And the most important part is I'm confident. I know what I bring to the table. I ain't afraid to sit down and eat.
Mm-hmm.
That's how confident I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So while y'all laughing, giggling, and carrying on, the truth of the matter is all women are not built the same. All men are not built the same. There are good ones in men. There are good ones in women. There are bad in men. There are bad in women. It's your choice who you decide to spend time with. And the flags are there. Unfortunately, in my first one, I didn't see them. And you know why I didn't see them? Because I didn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was head over heels in love. That was my error. It wasn't all on him. But when I gained my confidence and I gained back who I was, I walked.
Okay.
I didn't run. I walked. To tell you how I did it, brother came home and I was packing. He asked me where I was going. I said, I'm going home to the house I grew up in until I get on my feet. I took my two with me, my two children. I didn't tell him you can't see your children, but you will not dominate me a day longer.
All right.
I had to take my power back that I had buried because I wanted to be submissive.
How much time was between your divorce and your next marriage?
I left when my oldest child was 4. My baby was 6 months. I did not get married again until 1997. And this was in the 80s.
Okay.
Okay. And I left in the early 80s.
Okay. So that's a long time. So that was a lot of growth.
It was. But it was the time I needed to grow. I didn't want a serious relationship with anybody because I needed to find my footing and find out who I was.
Did you and your second husband have kids together, or did you marry him after you got your tubes tied?
No, I didn't. We don't have children together.
All right, cool.
We were at that point. I was past the baby making age that I felt I didn't want no more babies.
That's the slick stuff y'all do. That's the slick stuff y'all do. Yeah.
But he didn't want any more children either.
Yeah, that's the slick stuff we do. That's the slick stuff we do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said we. I'm glad you clarified that instead of y'all, it's we. And that was also a discussion that we had. I mean, truthfully, we laid everything on the table.
Okay, so y'all put communication in the forefront.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you what.
That's something I did not have in my first marriage because technically, whatever my opinions were about any situation, they were not respected. It was like, do as I say, you know, and that's not how I was raised. To this day, I still don't understand how I let myself fall into a situation like that. But then again, I say I was young. I was very impressionable. And I thought I really loved this guy. But in the end, I didn't have love.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I got to get out of here too because I got a lot of stuff going on right now. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in.
Well, I appreciate it.
And if y'all didn't like it, too bad.
Oh, man, get these people off.
Now that's cockiness. You went from
I'm out of here.
and now you went all the way up to
I'm
cockiness.
out of here.
You know what?
Cockiness.
Y'all have a good day.
You
See you
too.
later.
Peace.
Bye.
Both of yous.
Yes, sir.
Yo. Yeah.
Yo, did you hear about the boy that did that shooting down there around Erie Avenue years ago, 2018? He shot those 6 cops.
Yeah.
You know how many years they gave him?
Well, the thing is, they was wrong. How many years they give him?
240 years, bro.
Man. He coming home. He coming home soon. He coming home. He'll be home.
240 years.
They gonna bring his corpse home. They gonna bring it home.
No, but just imagine this. They gave him 240 years, right? So let's imagine if he passed away in prison and they said, and he had to go get his oldest son to go finish up his job.
You know what I mean? He gonna get you for legend years. All right, man, we gotta go. We gotta go. We can't do one more second. All right, peace.
All right, man. Get with me, man.
All right, I got you. All right, y'all. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my man, Garado Legends. Garado Legends, thank you so much for the super chat. Yo, you're a hero, without a doubt. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you. And that's word. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious July 12th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Mecca Brooks. Happy birthday, and Susie White. My girl going all the way back to the third grade, 1978. My girl Dina Brown, and Frida Morgan, Tamara Desmond, Chris Everett, Bunny Armstead, Teresa. Oh, no, it's Terasa Rembert, Jessica Lynn Chapman, Sony Jackson, Anthony Green, and last but not least, DeMar Moore. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious July 12th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, listen, they say what you do to one, you'll do for the other. They say that what you, yeah. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. Sometimes, the energy of a situation or a person or individual circumstance can change the way that you do things. The question is, are you changing as a one-off or are you changing in a consistent pattern? Does anybody ever really know what somebody else does with one that they do with everybody else? Does anybody know you that well? Do you know anybody else that well? Well, those are the kind of questions we have to ask ourselves sometimes, but it's all good. Listen, I want to thank everybody for coming through and checking out the Urban Therapy with Sun show today. We will be back tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thanks for coming through, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. Thanks to all the callers who called in. Thanks for all of the fun. Thanks for all of the information. Thanks for all of the insight. And thanks once again to Garado Legends for the super chat. Appreciate you, my dude. Appreciate all of y'all. Marissa Allberg, James Flooring, what's good? All of y'all. T. Carey Wright, Grown Woman Don't Try Me, Stacy White, Troy Diesel, and any and everybody. If I didn't shout you out, fuck it. Go ahead, shout out everybody. D-Rails. Let me see how far I have to go up. I don't know if y'all still here. Definitely Carla. My bad. Not gonna forget that. Anybody who trolled today, the trolls were a little low today. We good? All right, y'all. Y'all, I want y'all to have a great day wherever you are, whatever part of the country, or if you're in a different country, a different part of the world. Have a great day or great night. See y'all tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. All right, one.